talking about his latest book, Foul Trouble, where he lifts the veil on the high-stakes world of college basketball recruiting. Good morning, John. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Rob. My pleasure. How are you?
I'm doing very well, John. I actually am originally from the Massachusetts area, and I understand that you did a book, an audio collection with Red Auerbach. He's one of my all-time favorites. He's the former coach and GM of the Boston Celtics, was at the helm of a lot of those championship teams. What was he like?
Well, to hang out with Red was just tremendous. The book was called Let Me Tell You a Story, and it was basically Red telling stories about his career. And we had this lunch that Red would throw every Tuesday with a bunch of his friends, and we sat around a round table, and Red would tell stories, and it was as much fun as I've ever had. I've written 31 books. That one's pretty high on the list among those that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, I mean, he's just an amazing story behind him. Your newest novel, Foul Trouble, it seems to be talking a lot about college basketball and the recruiting process that sort of takes place with a lot of these high-level high school athletes. You know, something away from the book, what do you think about college basketball players maybe getting paid for their services?
Well, let me answer that question by referring to the book, Rob, because Foul Trouble is about a lot of these issues involved in college basketball recruiting and college basketball, including the issue of whether an athlete should get paid. Terrell Jamerson, who is the fictional hero of the book, could just as easily be Jabari Parker or Andrew Wiggins or Julius Randle, the three biggest name freshmen who none of us expect to be college sophomores because they'll be moving on to the NBA next year. And Terrell Jamerson faces a lot of these questions. He's a superstar. He's a senior in high school. Every college wants him. Agents want him. Shoe companies want him. AAU coaches want him. His friends all want him to make them money.
Right.
So the question then becomes, when he gets to college, why shouldn't he share in some of those riches, which, if he plays by the rules, he won't. All these people are encouraging him to not play by the rules and get paid right away, which we know happens often with high school and college athletes. So I think, yes, college basketball players should be paid, but not while they're in college. Because a guy like Terrell Jamerson, or the real characters that I just mentioned,
yep,
they're going to get drafted. They're going to be millionaire players. They don't need that money necessarily. It's the kid who's not going to be a superstar in the NBA who could use some extra money, and I've always said, put the money in a trust fund and allow them to get it when they graduate. That way you incentivize them to graduate.
That's actually a great argument. Now, does that hold true for football and other Division I college athletes?
You have to do it in revenue sports because there has to be revenue to go into the trust fund. If you're talking about, I was a swimmer in college. Nobody ever made $1 off of me,
right,
so there's no trust fund there for me. But
right,
if you're a men's basketball player or a football player, there is revenue, and some of that should go to the athletes who stay for 4 years or 5 years and graduate.
John, while I've got you quickly, I know that you have a show on CBS Radio as well. I've actually listened to you on CBS when I was back east. You said you have 31 books. A lot of them are about basketball, specifically college basketball, the NBA as well. But where does this basketball obsession come from?
Growing up in New York City as a huge basketball fan, going to an ACC school, cutting my teeth at the Washington Post as a college basketball reporter. And as I said, a lot of what happens in Foul Trouble is based on my very real experiences as a basketball reporter through all these years.
And how do you like the New York Knicks' chances this year?
I think they have a chance to finish the season, Rob.
They certainly do. All right, that is John Feinstein joining us this morning. His book is Foul Trouble. Thanks so much for being with us, John.
Thanks, Rob.